in my jungle, I'm gonna make the kill. Fucking feed me more up in this bitch, and we're gonna hit you with some good fucking fantasy matchups from player matchups this week. We're gonna hit you hot and heavy with some good running back, quarterback, and wide receiver and tight end matchups this week going into your fucking fantasy football championship game. And if you are still with us, people, we are all in trying to win you money this weekend. What the fuck is going on? We got a hotline caller. Alright, it's a little early for a hotline caller, but we're gonna go out there for her. Tankers Fantasy Football. Hello? Tankers? What's going on out there, bud?
I'm just calling in about the koozies.
Man, we went over on the waiver wire. I went out there. I told you if you send me your address via email at tankersfantasyfootball@gmail.com, we will get you the fucking koozies are on back order right now. I told you we didn't have them yet, but we will send you your 2 free koozies, bro.
My just fucking hands are just a little cold, waiting for them fucking koozies.
Well, we will get them there. I promise you, sir. Even, we will make this shit happen for you. You will have 2 free koozies in within, I don't fucking know, maybe a while, 3 or 4 weeks.
Alright, guys, thanks for the update there. Hard cock.
Ah, for fuck. I fucking knew it. I knew he was gonna. You see, we're even gonna send Hard Cox guy 2 fucking free koozies. So we're gonna send everybody 2 free koozies. Just send us your address via email at tankersfantasyfootball@gmail.com. We won't send you spam. We won't send you junk. We'll just send you 2 fucking free koozies. And moving on, hit it hard. I was going to tell you that at the end, but Hard Cox guy forced my fucking issue out there. Turn on, hit it hard. Started with them quarterback plays, and what do we got for some good quarterback plays out there?
Started off, we got to go Matt Ryan, your boy all year. This guy's going up against Carolina, who's given up almost 300 passing yards a game, most in the NFL.
Most in the NFL, Matt Ryan, all systems go, and the Panthers might even be able to keep this game a little bit closer, unlike the Niners, so we might have to keep checking it out there.
And the only reason he didn't lose his mind last week is because how much they're drilling him.
Or up 21-0, 10 minutes into the fucking game. What are you going to do? You're going to turn and give the whole second half, and that bogged down his fantasy output. And another guy with a good matchup is David Carr at home versus the Colts. I'm fucking digging that. This next is kind of a trap. I'm feeling it's a trap. We got Rivers going out east, going to Cleveland, and the Browns are giving up the most touchdowns of quarterbacks and the most points of quarterbacks. I'm just feeling it's a trap. The fucking Chargers wide receivers, any Charger wide receivers.
There's no one left at this point.
They can't get open. Their line is decimated. Philip Rivers thinks he can still outrun people to the sideline. He fucking can't. And Philip Rivers is just a dead duck out there. He literally had, after that second touchdown he had early on in the third quarter, the guy had 20 passing yards for the rest of the 25 minutes of game time. I think it's a trap play. I think you stay away from Philip Rivers even in this fucking sexy, juicy matchup.
Especially if Melvin Gordon's not looking to play. He can at least get yards out the dump off, but he's shown they can't get anything much else than that. Everyone's out. Another guy, great matchup. You got Winston against the Saints, who have given up the second most quarterback points all season here. And he's looking to get it going here. I know Mike Evans has kind of been down last 3 weeks here, but I think he gets it going this week.
Yeah, that first Buccaneers-Saints game a couple weeks ago down in Tampa was a 15-11 shit show, no real offense production. But I'm feeling a shootout this week for these 2 teams down in New Orleans, and I think it's all systems go. Jameis Winston, another guy who kind of turned it around last week against the bad Redskins D, who gets another soft defense at home versus the Falcons and Cam Newton. He's going against the Falcons. They're giving up the second most yards and the third most touchdowns to quarterback. I think if you've been hanging on to Cam Newton all year, I think he's starting to maybe turn around against these softer defenses. He might be a solid play for you this week.
Yeah, I think that's going to be high-flying, high-scoring game. And a great start this week. You got Tom Brady against the Jets, just absolutely pitiful secondary out there, giving up the 4th most touchdowns as well as the 3rd most points overall to quarterbacks on the year.
Well, let's get to some bad quarterback plays. We got Palmer versus the Seahawks in Seattle. I know the Seahawks numbers aren't that great, right now. They're kind of like borderline middle of the road, but in Seattle, Palmer's just kind of looking dusty out there. I'd kind of stay away from him. Flacco did good for you last week, but the Steelers are really tough against the pass. I might bench the Flacco too.
And of course, you got to bench Alex Smith going against Denver there.
Yeah, totally bench Alex Smith. Hit it off. We're going to lead off. So good running back plays with my boy from the Bears, Jordan Howard, who gets to play the Redskins, who you just saw vomit up over 130 rush yards with the likes of Jonathan Stewart on Monday Night Football. I think it's all fucking systems go. Jordan Howard. The Redskins are giving up the fourth most yards. The fourth most touchdowns and the fifth most yards to running backs thus far. All in at home in the cold. Jordan Howard this week.
I think another guy just absolutely have to start in with good confidence too. Latavius Murray, ever since coming back from injury, has been the man in that offense, going against the Indianapolis Colts, giving up the fourth most yards on top of fourth most points, just looking awful.
Staying in that game, flip it around. Frank Gore playing against the Raiders out there, who are the bottom third in all categories versus running backs. And Frank Gore's been your steady, win ready, sexy boy deluxe RB2 plug and play all year. And there's no reason to think about benching him here and come down to fantasy title town.
Yeah, I think Jay Ajayi, Admiral Akbar, it's a trap.
I think it's a trap. I think it's a goddamn trap. I think last week everybody got all hyped up. The Jets just got shredded by Carlos Hyde and company, and now Ajayi's going to come out there and do jack shit. That's what fucking Jay Ajayi's going to do. Jay Ajayi's had under 3 yards of carry for like the last month. He's a totally different running back with Pouncey out of the lineup. The Pouncey spreads are absolutely ridiculous. He was like 5.3 yards of carry in like the 4 games he was starting with Pouncey, and he's like under 3 in the other games without Pouncey. It is a total shit fest, and I know he ripped the Bills for 200 yards earlier in this game, but I think it's a trap. I think it's full trap play.
And I think if Melvin Gordon doesn't go, I think both Chargers running backs, you can't even think about putting them in your lineup. You saw what Faro did with the chance of the full O, did nothing. Even against Cleveland, it's a good matchup, but you just can't go in on either one of those guys.
You can't go into your dance relying on those likes of dickheads like that out there. And Todd Gurley, you got if you're still in the title game after drafting the bum with Todd Gurley in the first who's let you fucking down, at least he has a sexy matchup this week against the Niners, who are last in the league in every category against the rush.
All right, tough matchups. You got your boy Bilal Powell going out there putting up back-to-back huge games, and even if Forte's in the lineup, I think he's still going to get a very solid amount of the bulk for carries. But going up against a pretty stout D in New England, where they're going to give up the third fewest touchdowns as well as the fifth fewest yards.
Yeah.
Or fifth fewest points.
Yeah, fifth fewest points to running back. I know Powell, if you're in PPR, I think Powell might still be I think Powell's a better play with Petty out there, though. He loves dumping out the Powell.
Yeah, they checked out, 11 catches?
If Petty gets, 11 fucking catches. If Petty is a starter, if he's cleared to play, I think it's all systems go. Powell out there as at least an RB3 for you in PPR leagues. But if it's Fitzpatrick, I don't know. I might have to temper my expectations a little bit, and I might have to sit Bilal Powell. Where are we going? Sexy boy, deluxe running backs with rough matchups this week. Lead it off with Le'Veon Bell versus the Ravens, who giving up the second fewest touchdowns and the fifth fewest yards of running back. I'm not telling you to bench any of these motherfuckers that we're about to list off. I'm just kind of warning you that their matchups aren't the sexiest deluxes out there. And Elliott playing against the Lions, who are surprising me. Look at this shit. Lions? My goodness, the Lions are giving up the fewest touchdowns and the fewest points to running backs this year.
And Freeman and Coleman both going against the Panthers have given up the second fewest amount of yards, 8th fewest amount of T's. I still think Freeman's going to be solid, good to go there, but again, kind of temper expectations. Carolina's D does seem to be getting it going again, though.
Yeah, they totally bottled up that Redskin run D on Monday night.
Less than 30 yards rushing on the game.
Yeah, they were going under 2 yards a clip all game. And we got one more sexy boy with a tough matchup in David Johnson traveling to Seattle, playing against the Seahawks, giving up the fourth fewest yards and the third fewest touchdowns. And I'm not, like I said before, I'm not saying bench any of these guys. I'm just saying maybe you got to temper a little bit of expectation. But who knows? They are the sexy boys. They could blow up against anybody out there.
Yeah, I think if there's any one of those great players, I think David Johnson would be the most likely, just because it's just that stout of a D. But you still have to play him no matter what.
We're going to break into some good wide receiver plays. Antonio Brown, if you have survived the shit fest that has been Antonio Brown in the playoffs, putting up 12 PPR points week 14 and then dropping an 8-burger last week in the semifinals, if you have somehow survived the fantasy playoff deathstroke that has been Antonio Brown so far, I think you're in for a sexy game playing against the Ravens, who have given up the third most touchdowns of wide receivers thus far. I think he's going to turn it back on. He's going to come and get you some in the title game and redeem himself.
And just as juicy out there, Odell Beckham coming on late, going against Philadelphia, giving up the second most yards, as well as the 5th most points. So those guys both already top class, but they're in for huge weeks, I believe.
There's more some wide receiver 2s out there with sexy matchups, and D-Train and Emmanuel Sanders out there for the Broncos playing the Chiefs. They're giving up the most yards to wide receivers thus far. And going into some Patriot guys and Edelman and Mitchell and the like playing against the Jets, who are just falling apart at the seams versus the pass out there, giving up the 4th most points to wide receivers this year. And what we got? A couple more good matchups. What we got out there?
We got New England receivers, whether it's Julian...
I said that shit.
Alright. Well, we got Stephon Diggs here.
There we go.
He's skipping lines here.
I had talked about the Pats.
Alright, Stephon Diggs, you know, he's got the Packers giving up the 3rd most touchdowns as well as the 2nd most points. Secondary still banged up. And Diggs really seems to be the only target guy, especially if Thielen can't go with the injury. He's really the only guy out there.
For this last good matchup, where you might have to bust out the crystal ball, a.k.a. the old candy dispenser stuffed with detergent pods. But I'm going to look into it.
Giving away the secret.
Giving away the secret, people. Well, I'm going to stare into it. I'm going to tell you in... I don't know. I mean, this is pretty fucky. Are you sure? It's fucking telling me it's sure. I'm giving you people. I mean, I don't know. I mean, my fuck. I mean, this might ruin the show. We're going Allen Robinson. Oh my fuck. He had 10.8, his best score in the last 5 weeks. But the old candy machine stuffed with laundry pods is telling me Allen Robinson is gonna he's feeling it. He's feeling the coaching change. He's feeling the game at home versus
He's
the
feeling
Titans.
getting this season over with.
I don't know, he might be trying to lose you the title game, but I'm a believer. I'm a believer. The Titans are giving up the 3rd most yards and the most points to wide receivers thus far. And I'm just a believer. Just show me the image. An image of a 40-yard Allen Robinson touchdown. At least it smells good.
Don't hate us if he blows it up.
It was the
Here's the detergent.
The detergent pods told me to fucking tell him to fucking run him out there. We're getting into some bad wide receiver plays. We got Jordy and the rest of the pack playing against the Vikings. They're giving the 2nd fewest yards and the 4th fewest touchdowns wide receivers, but I'm not buying into this shit at all.
I'm not either. Vikings D, I mean, besides really the first few weeks of the season until their bye week, they have not been the same.
I'm not buying it in. They're falling apart. The seams are just getting shredded by the Colts. The Colts were missing 3 offensive linemen. Their whole goddamn right side of their line was rookies, and they still went out there and harvested the Vikings' souls in Minnesota. I'm saying to hell with it. The Packers are going to harvest their souls up in Green Bay as well.
I think, start Jordy. I think
Devontae Adams.
Even Adams, if he can just catch the ball, he would have had 2
couldn't feel his
touchdowns.
hands out there in the Arctic weathers of Chicago, which was last Sunday. I just don't think he could feel his hands. He can't catch the ball. He can't feel your hands. We got Cardinals receivers in Seattle just not feeling it out there. We got Landry and the rest of the Dolphins playing the Bills. They're giving the 4th fewest touchdowns and the 5th fewest points to wide receivers so far. And Matt Moore, I know he had the sexy deluxe. I mean, I don't know how. If you were in 2-quarterback league and you drummed up Matt Moore for his 4 touchdowns, I mean, absolutely kudos to you, my friend. That's some sexy boy deluxe. That's some Tide Pod.
Crystal ball.
Matt Moore deluxe. And I am telling you it is.
Another guy's tough to get out there. The Ravens receivers going up against Pittsburgh are giving up the fewest touchdowns all season to receivers.
Yeah, fewest touchdowns, second fewest points to wide receivers. I think all Ravens wide receivers are a solid bench this week. Rashard Matthews has kind of been your sexy boy. I'm not really even saying he'd at least be a wide receiver 3 for you, but the Jags are giving him the 5th fewest yards out there. And you know these fucking teams, when they're firing the coaches out there, they always summon up the demons and play a hell of a game. Oh, fuck it. Somehow the Jags are going to win this Sunday. How the fuck would that happen?
They choked it away last week.
They choked it away, but it's
But Hopkins, he's coming to life a little bit here with the Savage at the helm, sneaking out that fourth-quarter victory.
17 targets from the Savage one. I mean, this is what you're looking for. I mean, this goddamn dick. These quarterbacks are going to be bad. At least they could pepper Hopkins with targets, and Osweiler wasn't even doing that. He refused to throw it to people who aren't open by a country mile. And Tom Savage is at least not afraid to just huck it, chuck it, put it on Hopkins even when he's covered. I mean, Hopkins might be a decent play, even with the old tough matchup against the Bengals having the 4th fewest yards and touchdowns of wide receivers. I'm fucking kind of feeling it.
All right, some good matchups for tight ends here. Started off with old trusty Greg Olsen, who's finally getting it going as of late, going against the Falcons, who have given up the 4th most yards and touchdowns to tight ends.
I know Greg Olsen kind of staying into the max protect a little bit to block more than we're used to, but I think he's still a very solid, sexy tight end play this week.
In a game that I think is going to be a shootout where they're going to have to be throwing it to him.
Witten playing against the Lions are giving the 3rd most touchdowns to tight end, also a solid play. Gates playing against the Browns are also giving up a shit ton of touchdowns to the tight ends out there. And the most points to tight ends. The Browns are giving up also the most points to tight ends out there. One more, Rudolph versus the Packers. I'm just kind of feeling that one. He's kind of been a steady when ready guy for you.
Very solid, 12 to 15 every week.
Very solid production in PPR leagues for the old Reindeer games. Kelsey's got a bad one, though.
Are you sitting Kelsey, you think?
I don't think you can. I think tight end is too thin to sit guys like Kelsey. I think Kelsey had a pretty good game against the Broncos a few weeks ago, though. In that game the Chiefs stormed back to win. I think he went over 100.
Kansas City's getting a little more involved with their receivers, too. Macklin's making some plays. Hill's making some plays out there.
That was against the Titans, though, like we said. They're giving up the most points to wide receivers. I mean, even the likes of Dick Bum's Jeremy Maclin can necromancer his dick bum ass from the grave and be good against the Titans. And that's why the detergent pods have spoken. Allen Robinson, serious people's gonna win you, man. No, you'll be like, word, you're out of your goddamn fucking mind. I'm not listening to a fucking old candy dispenser filled with detergent pods. I'm telling you, dude.
I'm telling you, you should get in on it.
I'm telling you, baby.
And the last tough matchup here, another guy, I think you have to start, but Jimmy Graham going against the Cardinals, who giving up the 2nd fewest yards. And they've only given up, one tight end touchdown on the entire season?
One tight end touchdown on the entire season. I mean, Jimmy Graham, he's kind of been falling off lately. He hasn't really been very,
you never know what you're
he had
gonna get
one catch last week.
You never know what you're going to get with that bipolar Seahawks offense.
I don't know what you're going to, at least it's at home. At least you got that going for you out there. All right, does that do it for this week's show?
I think so.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below.
Follow us on the Twitter.
If you got any championship, who do I start questions, ask them down below in the comments. We will get back to you, people. We will do it. And don't forget about emailing us your address to tankersfantasyfootball@gmail.com so you can get your 2 free fucking Tankers Fantasy koozies, people. 2 motherfucking free koozies. Let's get after it.
Once again, thank you very much for watching all season. Let us know what you guys thought. Maybe some stuff that you want to see more from the Tankers. But we're definitely going to do some mock drafts once it gets closer to the season here.
Early mock drafts. Probably first waves of mock drafts will probably come right after the NFL draft. And we'll probably do a full block of mock drafts every month after that leading up to the season. I know motherfuckers love them mock drafts.
So once again, thank you very much. We love you guys. Stay updated with us. We love to hear from you.
It's been a good first year for the Tankers, and I love every one of you out there.
Merry Christmas to y'all. Hope you bring home a championship title.
Merry motherfuckers. Let's do it. It's gonna be either a bad or a real good Christmas. People would be like, "Why are you so mad at Christmas?" Ah, piss off.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon here.
Rockin', rockin', rollin'.